Hey guys, this is the day 4 notes for circles, which we're going to be talking about in and out angles again, which were on the day 3 notes, but we're also going to be looking at working backwards with them. So as a quick review on this first page, all I'm going to go over is what the rules were for solving for what was called an in angle or an out angle. So the first part, anytime it falls outside of the circle, it can be formed by either two secants, or in this case, you can see one of them is a tangent and a secant, or it could be two tangents. So the rule kind of extends anytime the angle's on the outside here. So this is referred to as an out angle. All right, the rule for this, it is that the out angle is equal to the big arc minus the small arc divided by 2. So in the picture, the big arc is the one further away. So here's the big arc. And the easy way to tell is the number there should be bigger. And then here, this would be the smaller arc. Whereas when we're talking in angles, that means we're on the inside of the circle, and it's where two chords cross each other. So as an example, this right here would be an in angle. When we went over this the other day, we said the angle across from it, or its vertical angle, would also have the same measure, and it's equal to the sum of the two arcs that the angles open up to divided by 2. So in this case, it doesn't matter which one's bigger, which one's smaller. So we kind of just refer to them as arc 1 and arc 2. So for an in angle and an out angle there, because it's technically not its real name, but that's what we call it. It is arc 1 plus arc 2 divided by 2. If you don't have that rule written down, I would write down each of those rules before we go to do this next page, especially if you weren't able to print out the notes and you're just doing it on your own paper. I think it would be a really good idea. So in angle, arc 1 plus arc 2 over 2. Out angle is big arc minus small arc, then divided by 2. Feel free to pause the video if you need to before we go on to the next page. All right, so the two things we're going to do, we're going to be working backwards, 1 with in angles and then 2 with out angles. So the first part, when it says set up the equation with x representing the arc measure, and then put the left side of the equation over 1 and cross multiply and take it from there. All right, so here's where we get to use that rule. So when it says set up the equation with x representing an arc measure, if you look at the picture right here, if here's my angle, then over here would be arc 1. Its vertical angle opens up to this guy, so this is arc 2. And then 50, that's the actual in angle itself. So when you go to plug into the equation that we just talked about a moment ago, the in angle goes on the left, and then arc 1, 85, plus arc 2, x, over 2 is the equation. Now when it says put the left side over 1, it just means let's make this thing a proportion. So if I put 50 over 1, now I can cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, 85 plus x times 1 just stays 85 plus x. And then we get 50 times 2, which that's just 100. Last step to get x alone, subtract that 85 out. Keep in mind, guys, I can show you as an example. You can absolutely just use your calculator right from your phone. So if you don't have a graphing calculator or scientific calculator at home, use your phone. So 100 and then minus 85, there you go. There's that 15 degrees that the arc is. So let's do one more of these together. So I'm going to slide down. If we look at one like number 1, same thing. If I spot, here's my in angle. So the arc that it opens up to That's one of my arcs. I can call that arc 1. And then the vertical angle opens up to this guy down here, 53. That would be like my arc 2. So when we set this up, let me slide it up just a little bit further so you can see it better. Is we can take and say, all right, the in angle, 94, is equal to arc 1 plus arc 2 divided by 2. Put that over 1, and let's cross multiply it again. So when we cross multiply, we get x plus 53, and then equals 94 times 2. So again, grab your calculator. I'm going to use, just to show you my phone again, just to show you how easy you can use that there. And most of you guys are pretty comfortable with it. So that's going to give me 188. And then subtract 53. And then there you go. And now when you get the answer, I want you to stop and think for a second. Does it make sense? So for the in angles, 94, that in angle is supposed to be the average of these two. So if 53 is smaller than 94, then the other arc should be a lot bigger than 94. And 135, hopefully that makes sense. That's a lot bigger than 94 there. You can try the other two for practice. Check the website for answers. And then the last page, same idea, working backwards, but without angles. So in this case, remind yourself, the out angle is going to be the big arc minus the smaller arc divided by 2, and then equals the actual out angle. So I'm going to put the out angle on the left, and then big minus small over 2 on the right. And actually, let me slide this down a little bit. There we go. So the out angle is equal to the big arc minus the small arc, which is x, over 2. All right, I'm going to take that same approach, put this over 1, and let's cross multiply. So we get 150 minus x equals 30 times 2. A little mental math there. We can get 60 for that guy. And then when you take it one step further, you have two options. You could move the x over, or more likely, you'll probably subtract the 150 over. So when you subtract 150 over, excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I copied it wrong. Good thing I got my white out today. That's not 150. That's 105. Eyes are jumping on me. 105, 105, and 105. There we go. All right, we'll get negative x. This is going to come out to give me negative 45, and then divide both sides by negative 1. That should give me a 45-degree angle right there. All right. So the only way that this can look a little bit different is this example, the small arc was x. So number 1, the small arc is also x, but number 2, it's actually the big arc that is x. So let's do number 2 together, and then I'll let you try the others on your own. So I'm going to slide this up. So when I look, the big arc is x, 60 is my small arc, and then 70, that's my out angle. All right, let's do our setup. The out angle, 70, equals the big arc, x, minus the small arc, 60, divided by 2. Put the left side over 1. Let's cross multiply. X minus 60. 70 times 2 would be 140. And then add 60 on over. That comes out to give us a nice even 200 degrees. All right. I hope the video helped. Check out the notes online and try the others for practice.